South Africa has arrested pan-Africanist, African freedom fighter, Kemi Seba. Yes, the South Africa that just got freed from the wickedness of apartheid at the hands of the very wicked people against whom Kemi Seba is fighting today. South Africa has just arrested Kemi Seba. Kemi Seba, one of the most influential, I can say, Kemi Seba, the most influential, the hardest pan-Africanists that exist on the face of this planet Earth today, in this 21st century, in 2026 today, is arrested by South Africa. What a disgrace, what a shame on the part of the South African authorities. What a shame. Kemi Seba's arrest by South Africa, anyone who can think understands that it is politically motivated. It is an arrest that's forced by some Europeans, mainly France, the United States of America, and of course they are puppets in Western Africa. Those who chose to serve Western imperialism at the expense of their own people. Those who chose to put smile in the face of the white man at the expense of their own populations in Africa. They and their European masters are the ones who ordered the arrest of South Africa, the arrest of Kemi Seba by South Africa. Before I go anywhere with what I have to say regarding Pan-Africanists, the most honorable Kemi Seba, the man I would die to defend. I would pop to defend. Before I go anywhere with what I have to say regarding his arrest by South Africa, I wanted to give you a little background detail on who Kemi Seba is. And then I will come and still continue with what I have to say regarding his arrest by South Africa. Kemi Seba was born, or Kemi Seba's birth name is Kapo Chichi. After his birth, the name his parents gave him was Kapo Chichi. Kemi Seba was born in the French town of Strasbourg to a Beninese parents, to parents who originated from Benin Republic. Kemi Seba joined the Nation of Islam, the United States of America's basic group Nation of Islam, as an 18-year-old only. And later he formulated his own ideology while visiting Egypt in his 20s. As a result of this process, he took the name Kemi Seba instead of Kapo Chichi, which he considered to be a Latin or European name. He adopted the name Kemi Seba, which in Egyptology means black star. After changing his name to Kemi Seba became the spokesperson of the Kemite Party, which was founded in 2002 and which was inspired by the Black American activist Khalid Abdul Muhammad. His educational background, the educational background of Kemi Seba. Kemi Seba is known for having a typical educational background. In high school, Kemi Seba was a student in the science section before starting to skip classes to hang around the streets of the suburbs of Paris in the Afro ghettos, to the great pleasure of his parents. He resumed evening classes at the Faculty of Law of the University of Paris Nanterre from 2000 to 2002, obtaining his diploma in capacity in law with honors. He was top of his class. He was the top of his class, being first out of 200 students in the first year. He then left the university to devote himself strictly to his ideological training through political activism. It was not until 2011 that he resumed university studies, this time in political philosophy and research methodology, followed by accelerated training in philosophy under the direction of the renowned Gabonese philosopher Grégoire Biogo. At the ICAD, Sheikh Anta Diop Institute of Libreville, at the end of this process, concluded once again with the distinction, Kemi Seba was made a researcher in philosophy within the same institute. In April 2025, Kemi Seba was awarded an honorary doctorate in political science by the Congolese University Bell Campus for his ideological impact on Pan-Africanism in the 21st century in Africa, in the Caribbean, and around the world. This is some little detail or background detail on Kemisiba that might allow you to get to know who I'm talking about. So yesterday on the internet, the news made around the internet yesterday that Kemisiba got arrested in South Africa. One of the arrests was announced puppets of Western imperialism and of course the West, who don't want to be without dominating Africans. They were very happy. The Western media repeatedly displayed it, played it again and again and again, talking about it again and again. South Africa arrested Kemisiba, all kind of denigrating terms that they could use, or sentences they could use. They have used them against Kemisiba, trying to always demagnify his image, trying to dirt his image, trying to make him look little. You know, these demons, like they always do to every Pan-Africanist, like they always do to every intelligent black man, like they always do to every patriotic African leader who fights for African freedoms. And on the other hand, they are puppets in Western Africa, were also happy and they were celebrating about the arrest of Kemisiba. But for people like myself, who believes in African self-rule, who believes in African freedom and liberty, who believes that Africans deserve same respect, same dignity, same liberty, same self-rule, and same prosperity as all other people on the face of this planet Earth, we were pissed at South Africa. And I'm very pissed at South Africa as I'm making this video. There's this crazy thing about us black people that I cannot understand. I wonder when we will wake up. I wonder when we will wake up and start using our senses. I wonder when we will learn at all from the past. Throughout history, every great African man, every patriotic African man, every patriotic African leader, every Pan-Africanist African leader that stood for the respect, the dignity, the liberty, and the general well-being of us black Africans, that person got destroyed or even eliminated by one of ourselves. We act like a people who are cursed to never do good in life. To never do good in life. How come South Africa, you haven't even finished freeing yourselves from the shackles of apartheid carried out by these very people who are oppressing people in Western Africa today, and against whom Kemisiba is fighting, and against whom, and they are puppets, and they are negrophobic systems Kemisiba is fighting. You still help these people today. You dare help these people today to try to destroy Kemisiba, to arrest Kemisiba. You know why Kemisiba got arrested by South Africa? You know the excuse they are using? You know the excuse the Western imperialists, namely France, Britain, and the United States of America, the number one enemies of the Negro race. You know why they and their puppets have tactfully managed to get Kemisiba arrested by South Africa, or how they managed to get Kemisiba to be arrested either by South Africa or any other people. You know what led to it? Well, back in December 2025, a military coup d'etat took place against the French puppet president of Benin Republic, Patrice Talon. The coup d'etat was carried out by Lieutenant Pascal Tigri and his men, a patriotic military unit. They successfully enacted the coup d'etat. The coup d'etat was already a successful coup d'etat. They had seized the national TV station. They had seized the presidential palace. They had all the strategic places that would make the coup d'etat a successful coup d'etat. What happened? So they came on TV and announced to the public that they have overthrown the long-time puppet of France, the men that chose to serve France's interests in Benin Republic and in Western Africa and Africa generally, at the expense of the Benin people and at the expense of the African people. They said, we have ended the rulership of this man. No more France commandment over the people of Benin Republic. So when they made this announcement, Kemi Seba made a video. I think, no, he went live on Facebook. That very hour, Kemi Seba went live on Facebook and praised the coup d'etat. He praised the coup d'etat. That's all he did. He said his country is finally free from France-Afrique, from France's dominance over Africans. His country is free from France's political and economic dominance over Benin Republic and over Africans. Finished, he said. But that coup d'etat later on turned out to be a failed coup d'etat, because as you guys know, or if you don't know, if you are discovering now through me, you have to understand that in Benin Republic, there are French military stationed there. They were secretly stationed there. You understand? Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso had already told Benin Republic, we know that you had French military stationed there, and it is to just surveil over us. You understand? To surveil over us and be plotting evil against us. Benin had denied it. But when this coup d'etat took place, it became clear to everyone that French military, in fact, were stationed in Benin Republic, because it is the French military that helped make the coup d'etat against their puppet a failed coup d'etat. By bombarding the palace, by bombarding the military who had taken place, they have more sophisticated materials. You understand? So they made sure that the coup d'etat became a failed coup d'etat. You see. So when this happened, the military, some of them were captured, and some of them escaped. You understand? They escaped from the country to a different place. You understand? You know, like it happened when a coup d'etat fails. And Kemi Seba, by this time himself, he was outside Benin. He was not in Benin Republic. So what the Benin Republic, what the Benin president, the Benin government, and they are puppets, and they are European puppets, have done to Kemi Seba in order to profit through this occasion to kind of try to silence Kemi Seba, or to limit his movements, or to limit his activism. What they tactfully did was to put an arrest warrant against Kemi Seba. They put an arrest warrant against Kemi Seba. You understand? Although what he has done shouldn't amount to an arrest warrant, but we all know that it is all politically motivated. It is all designed to keep him away from Benin, because they know that if he is in Benin, if he presented even this past presidential election, if Kemi Seba was in Benin Republic, he would have become the president. All the Beninese people would have voted for Kemi Seba, except the cursed ones that I still think that having deals with France will be good to them. All the centuries have passed, and all they got from France's cooperation is a mess and evil. You understand? Like I was saying, Kemi Seba, if he was in Benin Republic and had run for president during this past presidential election, he would have won. Instead of Wajani, I don't know. It's Kemi Seba who would have won. So for all these reasons, they have managed it to keep Kemi Seba away from Benin Republic with this arrest warrant and many other false accusations that was made up by France, the United States of America, Britain, their other European friends, and they are puppets, shameless puppets in Western Africa. You see. So this is exactly the reason why Kemi Seba is today arrested by South African authorities. You understand? This is why Kemi Seba is arrested. Just like during the apartheid time, Nelson Mandela was arrested. He fought a rightful fight, but he was arrested. And this same thing is exactly what's happening with Kemi Seba. His situation is not different than Nelson Mandela. The only difference is that today, the Europeans gave us the illusion of independence or freedom or democracy, when we have none, because they still control us politically, economically, and literally even socially. You understand? That's why conscious Africans are still struggling and still fighting for freedom. If we had freedom, we wouldn't be fighting for freedom. You understand? So I want the South African government to understand that you are not having a deal with Kemi Seba only as a person. You are having a deal with millions of Africans, both in Africa and outside of Africa. You know, even in the Caribbean, Kemi Seba is famous there for standing for the right, for the dignity, for the liberty, and for the general well-being of Black Africans and people of African descent around the world, whose right, dignity are trampled upon by Western systems. Peace out.